So who is Secret? Before you could understand the magnitude of that question, we must first make sure you understand the timing of where you sit right now. This world that you have been born into has gone through some interesting transitions over the last few centuries. The mid-18th century gave rise to the industrial age as we became producers, manufacturers, developers, builders. And in order to do so, laborers were needed. The 19th century gave rise to big business, corporations, as the expanding population started to grow and the quality of life was starting to increase. And so the system was developed. Perhaps it was taught to you just like it was taught to me. Go to school, get good grades, get into university, graduate, and go find a good job. And the plan was to work 40 hours a week for 40 years of our lives, to retire and live out our golden years. But throughout history, events have happened that have made it difficult for people to survive inside of that system. And if the plan that has been indoctrinated into us for so long is working so well, then why is it 95% of the population by age 65 is dependent on friends, family, and the federal government for basic needs like food, clothing, and shelter? Makes you think, doesn't it? When this information presented itself to me, the question I was asking myself was, how do you get to the top 5%? How do I separate myself from the masses? As I started educating myself on the subject of finances, I found many ways to make a living and even a few ways to make a fortune. You can become self-employed if you have a skill set that the market values. You can start a business if you have the right idea and capital. You can purchase a franchise, an already proven system that works. The challenge for me is my skill sets didn't pay well in the marketplace, nor did I have the capital to start a business or purchase a franchise. So now what? Do I just settle for the mediocrity of a 9-to-5? In the midst of all of this comes the greatest transition in the history of mankind as we move from the industrial age into the information age. Anything you've ever wanted to know is now just a click away. And where once relationships were developed face to face, the world is now your community as social media has taken over. If Facebook were a country, it'd be the third largest in the world, with 1 out of every 9 people with an account. YouTube has 490 million unique visitors that visit every month that watch 2.9 billion hours of videos. And Twitter is adding 500,000 users and sending 190 million tweets per day. And so what does this mean? Times have changed, and you are connected now with more people than ever before. So who is Secret? I promise you we're almost there. See, in the midst of this economic downturn, there's been an industry that has continued to go up and to the right for the past decade. An industry that has attracted the likes of over 70 million people worldwide, even billionaires like Donald Trump, Warren Buffett, Richard Branson, and even former US President Bill Clinton. Best-selling author Robert Kiyosaki calls it the business of the 21st century. What is it? It's the $100 billion worldwide industry of relationship marketing. So who are the players in this word-of-mouth business and what are they offering? Let's take a look at the $1 billion club. Avon, Amway, Jafra, Herbalife, Mary Kay, Prime America, Tupperware, Forever Living, Oriflame, Natura, and Nu Skin. Take a look at what 10 of the 11 billion-dollar companies all have in common. And with over 82% of the direct sales industry being comprised of women, it's no wonder why skincare is the dominant player in the industry. So why skincare and why now? If we could take a time machine back to May 1945, the end of World War II, as our soldiers came home and celebrated, guess what followed? That's right, babies, and lots of them. And over the next handful of years, these 70 million children, known as the baby boomers, would impact the buying decisions of this country for the rest of their lives. Companies that marketed their products to this group ultimately positioned themselves for massive profits. During the 50s, as infants and toddlers, companies such as Huggies, Pampers, Hasbro, Gerber became household names. During the 60s, as teenagers now, we saw Burger King, Pizza Hut, and McDonald's explode. During the 70s, as young adults now, anxious to get on the road, companies like GM, Chevrolet, and Ford couldn't keep cars on the lot. And in the 80s, as they moved out and started their own families, homes were required where Remax and Coldwell Banker were there to fill the need. And in the 90s, where development and home improvement was the name of the game, KB Homes and Home Depot cleaned up. And as we hit the 21st century, companies like Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae became the talk of the business community. And that brings us to today, where 2011 strikes the year the first of the baby boomers turned 65 years old. And here's what's crazy. Every day, 10,000 baby boomers turn 65 years old for the next 19 years. So what should that mean to you? Perhaps Mark Twain said it best when he said the key to success is simple. Find out where everyone else is going and get there first. So if this industry is the place to be in the information age and skincare is the dominant player in the industry, which company do I pick? I'm sure you'd agree, had you got started with any of those companies before they were billion-dollar corporations, worked hard and rode the wave, you would have been in a very different place today. So what are the elements that are required to develop the perfect company? Non-Me Too products that someone can't just buy from any store. A massive market. Unique, wow factor products that were specifically designed to create results in minutes. Global expansion and aggressive compensation plan with first movers advantage. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to introduce you to Secret. We thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to hear about our unique products and opportunity.